As a passer, how is it different? As a passer, how are the two quarterbacks different? What technically?
You know, Queese threw a great long ball. He really did. Threw a great long ball. Mitch is probably, I would say, he's more accurate in the intermediate and short passes. You know, probably more zip on the ball and more accuracy.
Can you take that comparison off the field about how the players look at Mitch compared to how they did at Queese?
Yeah. Queese is, for you guys that have interviewed, you know, he's a big smile, personality galore, always happy, you know. Mitch is a more serious, more business-like kind of guy. You guys won't enjoy interviewing him near as much because he's going to sound like a coach. You know, I mean, he's going to tell you the company line, and you're going to go, wow, you know, we didn't get anything. But Mitch has a tremendous amount of respect from the team. And the reason, one, is because they all saw the talent that Mitch had early on, and Mitch wasn't the starter, but he prepared himself week in and week out to be that guy. So when he did go in the game, he made plays, and they knew they could count on him. And so it was just natural when Mitch became the starter. I mean, it was like, okay, it's go time. And there's not a guy on our offense or defense that'll tell you they're worried about Mitch Trubisky.
Are you a back? What have you learned about being around Elijah all the time and playing one next to such a good running back?
Elijah Hood, first of all, he was extremely strong. And I can tell you this, if you come watch a workout, and we got a lot of guys that work really hard, okay, really hard. But if I got to pick the one that's going to go the hardest, every day, no matter how he feels, it's going to be Elijah Hood. And that's what makes him who he is. Okay? I mean, a strength coach, when he's talking about Elijah Hood, he's saying, I'm worried, we got to find ways to pull him back. I mean, there are many guys that you got to worry about pulling them back because they go so hard all the time.
Earlier this week, Speaker Paul Ryan made an analogy about solidarity, saying if you're a North Carolina fan, you would cheer for NC State if they were in a title game. And my question for you is, if NC State's
really
in a title
said that?
game, he really said that about solidarity in the GOP. Wouldn't you cheer for NC State in a title game from the state of
He
North
used
Carolina?
those two schools.
Yes.
Wow. I don't know. I was cheering for Clemson in the national championship game.
What about NC State though?
You know, I don't know. I'd have to have a closed door meeting with Paul Ryan and then discuss that.
How do you feel about your defensive line this year? A lot of talent, but also a lot of young, experienced players on the defensive line entering the season.
You know what? Really, I think we're going to be better in the defensive line than we were last year. You know, you got Nas Jones back. You got Jalen Dalton who's moved inside. You've got Marlon Dunlap from Charlotte that has come in this summer and had a heck of a summer. That they're a big 6'3", 315-pounder that we feel really good about. And then you got Jeremiah Clark who's back. You got Aaron Crawford who's back. I'm forgetting some. Robert Dinkins who's back. And all of those guys have played. They've all played except Aaron Crawford, who redshirted. You know, then you've got Juwan Drennan, who's back. You've got Mikey Bard, who's played a lot of plays. You've got Jason Strobridge. You've got these kids that just came in, Alan Cater, Tamon Fox. I mean, we've got some young, talented defensive linemen. How good are they going to be this year? I don't know because they're young, but I do believe we're going to be better in defensive front than we were last year.
Does it bother you that the perceptions maybe is Clemson or Florida State and then a step below, or do you think that's fair, kind of based on what's happening?
No, I think it's fair. I mean, until we do it, you know, I'm okay with not being thought of up there in that place. I mean, they deserve that. They've done it, and so yeah, that's what we're all striving to get to. You know, I mean, I tell you what, I want to play one of them on that first weekend in December. That's what I want. If we get there, then we're going to be okay.
You think the gap is big?
What's that?
You think the gap is big?
No, I don't think the gap's. I think the gap is closing. You know, I don't know if they agree with me, but I think the gap is closing. I think you can say that you know, the middle of the pack of the league and the lower is moving up. I really do.
How productive?
At the Habitat site, not only were tons of guys there, but were there again. So why is that investment important in the community for you and your team?
You know what? I mean, first of all, I really like stuff like that. I know that's weird to some people, but I like manual labor. I like getting my hands dirty because that's the way I was raised. I did it my whole life, growing up, summer jobs, all that stuff. So I get satisfaction from it. I'll be honest with you. I get satisfied from breaking a sweat, getting dirty, and being tired at the end of the day. But knowing you did something, And we had all of our players there, every single one of them. And I think it's important that they learn how important it is to give back to a community. Because these guys are very blessed, very blessed. Even though they work extremely hard and then everybody else says they're getting taken advantage of and all these things, they're blessed. And they know it, they're blessed. And so to be able to go out into a community and help people and put a smile on people's face, there's a lot of satisfaction in that.
How productive can TJ be catching passes out of the backfield?
Oh, man. First of all, TJ can go goal line to goal line. He can take it the distance anytime. And he's got great hands. So he'll make a lot of plays for us catching the ball out of the backfield. And we know this. We've worked on moving him into slots and moving him around because he can do a lot of things.
How does the playbook change with Mitch as opposed to Cleats? For example, you had a lot of set runs for Cleats. Will there still be the playbook?
Oh, yeah. We won't take them out, and if Mitch can be as productive as Queese was doing those things, we'll run them, But, I will say this, with what we have back in the offensive line and what we have back at running back, I don't know that Mitch will have to do that as much, And so Queese, there was a season that Queese was our running game, and we got away from that a little bit last year and got the running backs more involved as the linemen got better. And so I think we're at a point where, Mitch probably won't have to do that, but he'll still do it. He just won't have to do it as much.
If you guys were in
expand with Mitch.
Yeah, we'll expand with it, yeah, no doubt.
You guys were in pretty good shape last year. Something happened to Marquise because of Mitch. Now, whoever's going to be backing up Mitch, how big of a concern is that to you now because they don't really have any experience?
Yeah, they don't have any experience, so it's going to be very, very important that we get those guys some meaningful reps. Whoever that guy is going to be coming out of fall camp, that guy gets some meaningful reps, especially early in the season, so that he's prepared to go if he has to go.
That's a pretty unsettled situation, right?
It is right now, yeah.
Do you have a timetable when you kind of want to be able to...
When one guy separates. That's the way I've done it.
It's up to them.
I've always done it that way. I always name whoever the guy is when he separates from somebody else. And, Mitch separated himself from the spring. People are like, why'd you name him in the spring? You didn't name Queese till the fall. Well, that's when he separated. So, it just, whenever you do that. So, whoever's going to be number 2, when he separates from those other 3, then we'll name him the number 2.
What do you like about Caleb? What do you like about Nathan that's kind of different?
Nathan's very cerebral, picked up the offense extremely fast, makes good decisions, knows where to go with it. Caleb is very athletic. He can run. He's got an extremely strong arm, probably the strongest arm out of everybody on our football team, which says a lot because Mitch has got a really good arm, and then you got Logan Bird and Chaz Surratt now and Manny Miles all competing for that spot. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out in fall camp.
I know you don't like to say the specifics. Is it really a 2-man thing though?
No, I'm not going to say that. You can say that, but I'm not.
How do you approach those first few weeks? You have Georgia with a new coach, Illinois with a new coach. How do you go about trying to game plan for those 2 guys?
You do the best job you can at the places where those guys were before, offensively, defensively, on special teams. And then you're going to have to do a great job of adjusting in the game because it's going to happen. You're going to prepare for things that you don't ever see. They're going to show you things that you've never seen before, and we're going to have to do a good job with our guys. Our guys are going to have to understand it. Early in the game, things may not go the way we want them to. We're going to have to adjust and go from there.
How about that 6-year first-date opponents have new coaches this year?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy stuff.
But I have 7 on your. We're the only ones in the country that have that situation. Go back and look.
I think it's 7.
Yeah.
It's 7 overall.
Yeah, 7 overall.
One of the things you talked about the last few years is building depth. How do you feel about the overall depth of the football team right now?
Yeah, we're still. I mean, I'm still not going to say that we're deep enough. I mean, we are.
Is any coach ever going to say that?
No, they're probably not. But at some positions, we're getting close, and then others we still got holes. And you know, part of that are the circumstances for the last 4 years. I mean, I think when we bring the 17 class in, will be the first time we have 85 scholarships. So that's kind of a good feeling, you know, because we feel like we've survived through all of that mess with the scholarship limitations. And when the 17 class gets on our campus, we'll be back to a full 85 scholarship. So you hope that's going to help.
So we're talking about that. When you look at the secondary, could there be a lot of true freshmen that are playing this year?
Could be, yeah. You got Dez and you got MJ over there. You know, you that have a lot of experience and had a hell of a season last year. You know, so we expect a lot out of those two guys. Donnie Miles, you know, also. So you had 3 starters back. You know, so now you got to figure out what you're going to do at nickel. You got to figure out, because the nickel's going to be on the field 75% of the time. So, you know, that's your next corner. So it could very well be a freshman. You know, the safety position, that when Smiley left, it could be Dominique Green, who's got a lot of reps, or it could be one of those young guys, Miles Dorn, or one of those guys that are young. So, you know, I will tell you this, those kids that we brought in, they're talented. I mean, from Patrice Renee to Greg Ross to Miles Wolford, I think I'm all of them. I've left Miles Dorn, I'm leaving some guys out, but there's some talent back there, so it's going to be fun to watch those guys grow.
Thank you.